Hello, and welcome to this special Q&A video with Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. In today's video, we're sharing an exclusive sneak peek from the latest webinar's question and answer session. If you'd like to dive deeper and watch the full webinar replay, it's available for just $5.99 over at alexcollier.tv, exclusively for our community of truth seekers. Before we get started, we'd be so grateful if you could like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to get notified of all new videos. Your support helps spread Alex's messages from the Andromedans to more people around the world. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Whether it's your thoughts, a question, or even just an emoji, every comment counts, and we read them all. Your feedback and engagement really make a difference. If you'd like to show a little extra support, consider clicking the super thanks button, the heart with a $sign, to give a tip. Every bit helps us continue to bring you more content from Alex Collier. Now, let's get into this special Q&A with Alex.
I don't see, he says, how we wake the normies up as long as the mainstream media is operating. How can they be removed without the appearance of a fascist takeover?
That's an excellent question. They will call it fascism. They will call it fascism. The left will call it fascism. So what you have is the pot calling the kettle fascist. And that shouldn't surprise anybody. By allowing the mainstream media to expose itself, to allow the real money to desert the mainstream media, which is what you're seeing. If CNN didn't have the airport contract of being on every television, in every waiting room, at every terminal, in every airport, they would already be shut down. That's a fact. When that contract is up, they will cease to exist. And it will be a natural implosion because real money is saying, screw you. And what am I talking about, real money? Real money wants to grow. Real money wants to maintain its value. Real corporations want to sell their products. They want to remain in business. They can't do that with the mainstream media because they fabricate, they lie about everything. And when people see that, people stop watching. They turn it off. And the CIA is going through a transformation as well. And we know that the articles written for all the news agencies arrive at 4 a.m. from the Central Intelligence Agency, from some desk or desks. We also know that the agency has many people sitting inside these major media corporations writing the daily news for them in a specific way with a specific spin or a specific narrative. We know this. Those who are awake also know this by now. It's only going to get worse, and it's only going to become more extreme as more and more truth is disclosed. You have to know that they're all freaking out, okay? Because they had it good for a while. They had it good. They could tell anybody anything they wanted. They could blame anybody for anything. They had access to computers that generate money out of thin air, so they could pay everybody, pay their bribes, fatten their cushions, their pension funds. They could buy their mansions, their private jets, their yachts, their submarines, whatever the hell it is that they've got. They had it good for a while. As America suffered, they had it really, really good. But that's over. That's over. Now, the real issue for them is we stole all this wealth. How do we keep it? Well, you see, this is the issue. This is the issue. Now, most of this wealth is in US dollars. 45 countries as of today no longer use dollars, US dollars, in any way, shape, or form in their countries. And it's growing exponentially. So what are they going to do? How are they going to park the money? How are they going to convert the fiat into the new USN or digital currencies, coins that are coming out, XRPs? How are they going to convert it when Space Force, when the new AI program that's tracking all this fraud and where the money went, how are they going to convert this money so that they can keep the wealth that they stole? It's going to be nearly impossible for them to do this. And they know it. They realize they're going to be caught. They already realize that they have been caught. They just haven't tumbled down yet into the hole. Or they haven't been arrested yet for what they've done. When you do this, and you know this is coming, and based on the executive order 13148, gigs up, you lose it all. You lose it all. And their families, their children, their grandchildren have no idea what they've done or what they've been up to. And when the knock comes to the door and they say, hey, put these on, put your hands behind your back, and all of it's exposed, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for these people. Because they honestly thought they'd never get caught. They honestly thought this could go forever. And when the Earth, the governments, Solar Warden, or whatever it's called now, Space Force, secret space programs, both Air Force, Army, Navy, when they began engaging with extraterrestrials, when it was laid out, when it was presented about how serious this was, and that humanity was at a crossroads of collapse or ascension, and what the causes were going to be of which road you take. Anyone with an IQ above a dinner plate would know what to do. And there's a part of me, when I share this with you guys, when I talk about this, whether it's in private circles or here, there's a part of me that's absolutely heartbroken. And I have been since I've learned about this as a kid. And then there's another part of me that's really excited because it's finally coming to light. And those of us who tried to share this information, we're no longer being ostracized. We're no longer being pointed at and nut job, insane, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those things, And it's not like, we're beating our chest and saying, told you so. No, we didn't want any of this to be true. Believe me when I tell you, we didn't want any of this information to be true. Because we had to dramatically change our lifestyle in order to share this information. Many of us had to put ourselves in self-imposed isolation, separate ourselves from our loved ones, our families, our brothers and sisters, so that they would not be a target if they could not take us out or shut us down. We had to be very careful with our children, with our relationships that we were in. Many of us couldn't be in a relationship because we couldn't find somebody that was at this level and understood the work. There's no glory in this. There never has been. And the decisions that were made, the paths that we all took, whether it was about the children, whether it was about the extraterrestrial presence, whether it was about the reptilian presence in Europe, in the royal lines, the family lines, the Rothschild lines, all of that. Those of us who put it on the line, it was never ever about glory. There is no glory in this. Okay? It was about our love for humanity. It was like, we understood the bigger picture here. And it's because of our relationships with those off-world who only see everything in the bigger picture. Because they see holographically, they think holographically. And some of that bleeds through. And then, how do you compress it into third density matter and explain it? It's still hard. But it gets easier when people themselves figure it out. Because then you don't have to explain it. They get it. They get it. And then, as opposed to them being in opposition, they become an ally. Even from a distance, they're an ally. They don't have to say anything. They just give you the nod. We get it. And you're like, thank God. I'm not the only one, or we're not the only one. And there's so many of us, ladies and gentlemen. There were so many in the military, in the medical community who got it, but didn't know how to get past the system. Those in Hollywood that wrote the scripts, for the producers who created movies, for like the movie Stargate with Kurt Russell. I think that was I can't even remember who the producer was that did that. That is a documentary. That's a documentary. Starman was a documentary. They were trying to tell people They Live was a documentary. Star Wars, Star Trek, they're documentaries. They're documentaries. And now people are starting to get it. And the heavy lifting is being spread out amongst the people. For me, one of the greatest moments was when the Space Force was created. Because it had a very specific agenda. And that was to capture the intelligence and take humanity to the very next level of consciousness. And, the men and women and the Star Alliance that is working within that agency and the secret space program attached to the Army, of which JP is a part of, that of the Navy, which is Solar Warden and other teams that are working with that. We may also even have some working in and within Homeland Security and other groups. This is not the alien invasion happened a long time ago. The invasion has ended. The invaders have been and are being removed. Who's here now is trying to help us save ourselves. Gospel. Absolute gospel. That's what they're here for, to try to teach us to save ourselves, to give us an opportunity. And they're trying to get everybody on board with that. But first, what you have to do is remove the illusion. Okay, you have to take the blinders off. You have to allow the people, like the Q team said, to see for themselves. And that's justified. Everybody's been fed so much bullshit over the years, and that's the only way to do it. And it had to happen this way, which is why it's taken so long, and which is why it's so painfully slow, or it has been. And it's like molasses, or it has been like molasses, dripping from a bottle. But now things are heating up. And the molasses is getting thinner, and it's starting to drop more. Soon it's going to be a pour. The assassination of President Kennedy, affected the entire world, because it wasn't just a coup against America. It was a coup against the world. It's bigger than we realize. It always has been. Wow. I
Right along to the terminal station. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching today's question and answer video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to stay updated on new videos. Your support truly helps us spread Alex's messages from the Andromedans and reach more people. For those interested in the complete experience, remember that the full webinar replay is available for just $5.99 at alexcollier.tv. This is where you'll find Alex's in-depth insights and answers to more questions from our community. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment or drop an emoji below. We read every single comment, and your engagement really means a lot to us. To keep up with the latest from Alex Collier, you can visit alexcollier.org for more about his work, alexcollier.news to sign up for our email newsletter with the latest updates and exclusive content, and alexcollier.live for the most recent news and info. And don't miss our full library of over 250 past webinars on alexcollier.tv. Thanks again for supporting the work of Alex Collier. Your support makes it all possible, and we're truly grateful for each and every one of you. See you next time. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.